Tank. Tank. Alright, Tank says hey. Yep, there's the paw. He says hey. Alright, today on GenXhotrodsTV we're going to show you how to change the pressure switch on your 110 AC compressor. Alright, so what we're going to need to be able to do this is you're going to need a pressure switch. We bought a generic pressure switch. Generally it's for 155 psi compressor. My bad. We have a 135 psi compressor. We will adjust ours. It is our advice that you buy the switch that fits your compressor. We bought the cheapest one because we know exactly how these work. We know the ins and outs of them. So we're not spending $80 on a switch that I can get for 30 bucks. You're going to need some thread sealant. I like the liquid pipe dope stuff because the tape has a tendency to leave strands, get contaminants up in the valve, and it will cause the valve to malfunction. You're gonna need screwdrivers, flathead, Phillips head, whichever ones fit your screws. You're gonna need a wrench or pliers, vice grips, adjustable works fine. I have a wrench that fits my my switch, and you're gonna need some pipe plugs in order to, which should come with your switch, but if they don't, you're gonna need pipe plugs that fit the extra holes that you may have that you're not going to need. We're only going to need one for a regulator and our air connector. Alright, so first thing you don't want to do is get your pipe sealant. You don't want to put it on your fitting that you're taking, that you have for your pressure switch. It doesn't take a lot of this. If you're using the liquid pipe sealant, which is what I prefer, the paste style, whatever it is, it only takes a little bit. And I like this stuff because you don't have to crank down on the fitting in order to get it to seal off. This stuff will go up into threads and it will seal off very, very nicely. Once you've got that on, it doesn't have to be anything perfect. Just get some around there. You can actually put it on the inside of the threads and it'll do the same thing if you can't get to the fitting. Once you get that on, get your fitting started. Get your pressure switch started on there. Do not cross thread it. Take your time. It will thread on just like that. That's what you want to do. Do not cross thread this. It's the last thing you want to do. Now from here, since I'm using the pipe sealant, I don't have to tighten it no more than that. I don't have to put a wrench on it. I don't have to crank on it. There's no point cranking on it. This is cast aluminum. It will bust, it will shatter, it will crack, it will split, it will leak. So do not crank on this. Just put it on, give it a good, hard, snug, tight fit, but don't bear down on it. You're not using the threads to seal for the air. You're actually letting the pipe sealant do its work. The thread is just simply there to bind and hold your switch in place. Alright, so now that we have our switch mounted, we need to put our plugs in. These are flush mount, whatever you want to call them. They have an Allen head, hex head, socket head fitting. There's several different names for these. There is a different style of plug that has a square head on top of it. You can just use a wrench for that, pair of pliers, whatever you need to get those in. We have these, so if you have this, make sure you get the appropriate size Allen wrench. These happen to be 6mm. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put some, these already have sealant on them. Technically, you can use this, it's fine. It doesn't matter. Anytime I've got to deal with some kind of with air of anything, I always add extra sealant to it because I have it here. Better safe than sorry. You don't want to do this but one time. So you just add a little around the edge. Just like that right there. It don't take much. And then you just get them started. Just figure out what holes you want to plug. As a matter of fact, I think we'll plug this one. We'll put our regulator and our air fitting here. And then we take our Allen wrench. Now again, these need to be good and tight, but you don't want to absolutely crank on them. Let the sealant do the work to seal off the air. You just want to make sure they're tight, not going to vibrate out. They don't have to be mounted flush, as you can see. If you try to mount these flush all the way in, it's probably going to split this, so don't even try. Just tighten them up to where they're tight, give them a good turn, leave them alone. Alright, so we're going to wire up our switch now. Seeing as how this switch was actually, it's more of a generic switch, it has what we call slide connects. You can see here. They're little connectors that allow you to slide your wiring connections on, just like that. Okay. The problem we got is going to our motor, we have what we call spade connects. So what we're going to have to do is take two of these out. And this is our line side. So this one is the one that comes from the wall, which is this, which it has the slides. Unfortunately, the way they decided to design this, I have to remove these in order to remove the bottom ones, which are the ones we don't want. So we'll pull these out. We'll pull the motor side out. Slide these up to the top for the lines. Well, actually, we won't even do that because we're going to have to get to them screws to tighten up for our line side. Okay. So now in most cases, you will have your switch will be marked line side, motor side, or power, wall. It'll usually indicate which side needs to be what. All you really need to know is which side goes to the motor, because the other side automatically goes to the wall. So what we're going to do is we're going to hook up our motor side, which doesn't matter which side it goes on. There is no polarity to this. So we put these in, we tighten them up, get them good and tight. You don't want them vibrating and jumping around. This connects lid in just like that. And then we have our ground right down here. This is where a magnetic screwdriver, they're wonderful. Generally, I don't like magnetic screwdrivers, but alright. Now, once you got that in, put that back into place. Okay, now we remove our wire clamp. This is the way I like to do it. It doesn't have to be done this way. This is just the way I like to do it. I like to wire up my motor just like that first. And what we want to do is we want to put our wire clamp back in, and that's going to hold our motor wires in as soon as I get to where I can get to it. Reset this, put this back in just like that. Get our little screw started. Okay. All we want to do is start that screw. Now, we want to put our slide connects back in. My mistake, I'm sorry. Put our slide connects back in up top. And these will be going to the line side. And our line side has slides. So that's the ones, so we want to put the slide connects up top. Tighten that up. Now we want to take our line side, which is what plugs into our wall. We want to make sure we got all this out of the way, because see, I just put that dead in the way. So you want to make sure all that's slid over and out of the way, just like that. Tighten the ground back up one more time. All right, now we want to feed our line side wires up through our wire clamp, through our clamp. They're not happy. Alright, there we go. Now, you want to go on ahead now at this point, you want to go ahead and hook your other ground up. Which again, like I said, is where
I don't think there's enough light in that.
probably not.
So now we're trying to fight the ground wire into place. And there we go.
Tighten up the ground wire. Good and tight, like I said. I'll make sure all these are good and tight. Now, Only thing you have to remember here is you match these color for color. Hot is black on 110, so it's on our right side. So we want to make sure we hook our black wire, hot side, right there. Hot to hot, black to black, neutral to neutral, white to white. And that's it. Alright, so we got everything finished up. The capacitor's mounted, pressure switch has been mounted, everything's wired up right. We're going to fire it up, see if it's running, make sure it does what it's supposed to do. So there it is. She runs. She runs, she pumps up like she's supposed to. Honestly, we've already checked it one time because, you know, I'm not going to put something on video that don't work. It would be kind of pointless. It'd be pointless not to have editing. But she does work great. She pumps up to 153 pounds. We did double check it with a calibrated air gauge, which I always advise everybody, if you have means, to always check your calibration on your gauges and your regulators, because you don't want your air tools running on power. There's air pressure running on more than what it says it is. So we appreciate you watching. We hope you learned a few things. I'm sure we missed some details here and there. Comment if there's anything you saw that we may need to fix or recover or something to that effect. Please like, comment, subscribe. We have a lot more videos coming like this. We hope you enjoy yourself. We hope you enjoyed the videos. Thanks. Come back and see us.